Sure. Basically, I had interviewed Lucian Greaves, Doug Meisner, whatever he wants to call himself these days. And, I interviewed him because he was in Satanism. I didn't find out about the Satanic Temple until I went on Comedy Central. And Comedy Central, it must have caught wind about the Satanic Temple because the opening thing was on my skit was, in New York, Satanists adopt a state highway. And they started asking me questions like I was a member of the Satanic Temple. And I wasn't. I hadn't even heard of Satanic Temple. And they're just like what? Adopt a state highway? What is that? I don't even, what the fuck are you talking about? And then they switched over. But anyway, it's like, yeah, that's when I heard about the Satanic Temple. I thought, oh, great. I heard about this Baphomet monument. This is back before the Baphomet monument was even built. They were still fundraising for it. And I got on board because I was like, great, these guys are actually making progress, and I didn't see the political aspects. I saw them fighting for separation of church and state. And I saw a very creative way that they were doing that by threatening to build a satanic Baphomet monument, which they did, because they wanted the Ten Commandments monuments taken down because there was a violation of church and state to have a Ten Commandments monument on state grounds, on Capitol grounds, which it is. And they successfully did that. And it took a 7-foot tall bronze statue of this weird kind of pedo looking Baphomet with these weird kids standing next to it. And they did that. And I was like, can we just like, get rid of the kids? Like, okay, can we yeah, and then, it was like, I guess they said they wanted us to look like, the kids were like, it's just kind of a little too weird pedo shit, especially that we just got over the satanic panic and most people now don't believe that Satanists are pedophiles and eat babies and shit anymore. And then here's this fucking monument of these kids. I'm like, oh man, you guys, how do you fuck this up? You're like at the center stage and then it was like, the coloring books in school came along. I'm like, whoa. Too much kid shit, guys. Kids, it's just lay off the kids things, man. There's too much emphasis. You want to do coloring books, satanic coloring books, and pass it. They asked me to when I was at chapter to Portland. It's exactly when you chapter to Portland. You're in Portland. It's like, yes, I'll do that. Be the contact point, blah, 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 help do events and coordinate things. And it was like, here's one, satanic coloring books in school. And like, well, why? And they're like, well, because they're having these after school Christian things in school. And we don't feel that they should have after school Christian programs. It's like, why? Because then people aren't being forced to go to these things, by the way. So I'm like, why? And then they're like, well, we just want to have our own. So we want to show diversity and religious diversity. Like, so you want me to go to a public school, a grade school, and pass out these satanic coloring books and try to get kids to enroll in fucking school or into our satanic class to what? Do what? Bake cookies and color upside down crosses? No, dude, I'm not doing that. One, I'll get my fucking ass kicked. Unless you're going to have the police behind me, right? I'm not doing this, dude. I understand, but I got to draw the line with the kids. And that kind of sit a little rough. And then I think one of the upper administrators who no longer is there, Jex, I guess she was too edgy, sinister for them. She had a problem with me. That was a personal problem. I think maybe she thought at the time, maybe she thought that she was in a position to be like in power of the upper authority. And maybe she felt threatened because I was well known and she wasn't so much. And blah, 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 whatever the problem was. And, it was a long time ago. I'm not even, butthurt about it, but it's like, with that and everything. And then I started to see the political aspects where there's like this huge LGBT movement came in. And yes, Satanism does support the LGBT community because we think that, sexuality is between consenting adults is their prerogative, right? And we shouldn't be able to impose laws upon that. But it became so oriented towards LGBT rights that the whole Satanism thing got put in the back burner. And now it's about, and then this whole thing with the kids, and they had like, drag queens like wanting to like do kids storytelling, but they have to be in drag. I'm like, guys, enough of the kids, enough of the gay stuff, all right? We would focus more on the separation of church and state, religious rights, sexual rights is fine too, but you're overemphasizing this. And now the Satanic Temple is like almost like 80% LGBT, and it's like nothing wrong with that, but it's so focused on the left-wing agenda and also kind of more of extreme stuff that it's kind of making Satanism look stupid, and it's totally taking course off of Satanism and onto these these LGBT rights and stuff like that, which, really doesn't have anything to do with Satanism. So it's kind of a farce, in my opinion. But that's kind of how I had a falling out with it.
Ha! Gay!